Scene 1. Cold cases don't stay quiet, for F2 was 15 when she vanished. And for 13 years, her case sat in a file that people stopped opening. Not because it wasn't tragic, not because it wasn't solvable, but because the kind of evidence that mattered most didn't exist yet. And the kind of attention required to revive it had long since moved to the next headline. Her name was Elise van Dollen. On the morning of May 14, 2007, Elise left her grandmother's apartment in the Dutch city of Tilburg on her bicycle, heading toward a shopping plaza where she worked weekend shifts at a small bakery kiosk. She was wearing a light blue jacket, dark jeans, and a backpack filled with school notebooks, and a half-eaten apple she planned to finish at lunch. Elise never made it to work. At first, the case seemed like the kind of disappearance that always pulls a community into panic. Posters, search parties, volunteers walking shoulder to shoulder through green strips along canals and wooded bike paths, local news updates every hour, repeating the same photo of a girl with bright eyes and braces and a smile that looked too young for a missing person poster. But then the days passed, and something strange happened. The evidence came in fragments, objects that looked meaningful but refused to connect into a clear story. A bicycle, a backpack, an anonymous tip that went nowhere. A suspect that the public wanted to believe in more than the police ever could. And then, years later, when the case was almost dead, someone did something unthinkable. Someone confessed. Not because they were guilty, but because they were desperate to force the truth into daylight. And in the end, it worked. Because when Elise van Dollen's body was finally exhumed, the earth gave up what time had tried to erase: DNA, a profile, a name that had been hiding in plain sight for years. This is the story of the disappearance of Elise van Dollen, and the confession that was designed to be a lie, so the truth could finally speak. Scene 2. The disappearance and the first CRCHL was born on August 2, 1991, in Mönchengladbach, Germany. Her mother, Sabine, moved to the Netherlands when Elise was still young after marrying a Dutch man named Peter van Dollen, who would become Elise's stepfather. Elise adopted his surname, and for a while it seemed like the family had stabilized. They lived in Tilburg, a city large enough to feel anonymous, but small enough that neighbors still noticed unfamiliar faces. That stability didn't last. Sabine and Peter's marriage broke down when Elise was 11. The divorce was tense and public, and the custody arrangement that followed became one of those long-running family wars fought through schedules, court letters, and resentments that never fully healed. For a time, Elise lived primarily with her grandmother Ria, while still maintaining a relationship with Peter and his new partner, Marloes, who lived only a short bike ride away. Then, in late 2006, less than a year before, Elise vanished. Sabine died suddenly after a long depressive spiral that family members later described as years of quiet pain. Officially, it was ruled a suicide. Unofficially, it fractured Elise's world. But Elise kept moving forward. She went to school. She met friends after class. She took a seasonal job at a bakery kiosk in a shopping plaza called De Heuvelmarkt, saving money for clothing, makeup, and the small luxuries of teenage independence. Her grandmother said the job made Elise proud, like she was proving she could survive even when life tried to knock her down. Friday, May 14, 2007, was a normal workday. Elise was due in that morning. At around 8:10 a.m., she left her grandmother's apartment, wheeled her bicycle down the stairs, and rode toward the plaza, using a route most locals could draw from memory. Through a bike corridor known as Lindenpad, past a canal feeder, then along a stretch of wooded green space. Behind a water facility, she never arrived. When Elise didn't show up to the bakery kiosk by 9 a.m., her supervisor assumed she was late. Teenagers are late sometimes. But Elise wasn't known for skipping shifts. By 10:30, her grandmother's phone began buzzing with calls. By 11:15, Ria contacted the police. Tilburg authorities responded quickly. A missing teen in daylight, on a bike path used by students and commuters, is the A case that triggers immediate urgency. A dedicated team was formed. Officers began checking the route Elise normally took, interviewing anyone who had been near Lindenpad that morning. At first, there was nothing. Then, at 6:05 p.m., the first clue surfaced. Elise's bicycle was recovered from the Wilhelmina Canal, near a narrow water bend behind the facility she passed on her commute. The bike was not tangled in reeds. It wasn't crushed. It wasn't obviously thrown from a high bridge. It simply sat half submerged, angled like it had slid in rather than been launched. Divers were brought in. They searched beneath the surface for hours. Their efforts produced nothing. No backpack, no shoe, no trace of Elise. But the bicycle changed the entire tone of the investigation. A girl didn't just vanish. Something happened. something that forced her off her route, or forced her into the water, or forced her to leave her bike behind. And the question became, accident, suicide, or violence? Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the world's most perplexing mysteries. Today, we're re-exploring a case that has baffled investigators and haunted a family for decades. The disappearance of Elise van Dollen. It's a story of a vibrant young woman who seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Elise van Dollen was born in the Netherlands in 1960, described by friends and family as intelligent, adventurous, and full of life. She had a passion for travel and experiencing different cultures. After completing her studies, Elise decided to embark on a journey that would take her across continents. She was a seasoned traveler, confident and capable, and had already explored parts of Europe and Asia. In the early 1980s, her wanderlust led her to a new, ambitious destination, South America. She planned to spend several months backpacking through the region, starting in Colombia and making her way south. She kept in regular contact with her family back home, sending postcards and letters filled with vivid descriptions of the landscapes, the people she met, and the adventures she was having. Her letters painted a picture of a young woman completely in her element, embracing the challenges and wonders of solo travel. But in the spring of 1982, the letters stopped. The once regular flow of communication ceased abruptly, and a chilling silence took its place. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with no word from Elise. Her family's initial concern grew into a desperate, all-consuming fear. The last confirmed sighting of Elise was in a small town in the Andes Mountains. She had reportedly been staying at a local guest house, planning her next trek into the remote wilderness. Witnesses described her as being in good spirits, excited about her plans. She had spoken to other travelers about a multi-day hike she was about to undertake, a route known for its breathtaking beauty but also its treacherous terrain. She was last seen leaving the guest house with her backpack, heading towards the mountains. After that, she was never seen again. When Elise failed to check in with her family, they immediately contacted the Dutch embassy and local authorities. An official investigation was launched, but it faced immense challenges from the very beginning. The area where Elise disappeared was vast and sparsely populated. The terrain was rugged and unforgiving, making a comprehensive search operation incredibly difficult. Local police, with limited resources, did what they could. They interviewed people in the town, questioned guides, and sent search parties along the trail she was believed to have taken. Despite their best efforts, they found nothing. No sign of Elise, no trace of her belongings, no indication of what might have happened to her. It was as if she had simply walked into the mountains and vanished from the face of the earth. The search was eventually scaled back and then called off, leaving her family with a gaping void and no answers. They were thousands of miles away, grappling with the nightmare of not knowing what had become of their daughter. Over the years, several theories have emerged, each attempting to explain Elise's mysterious disappearance. The first and most straightforward theory is that she fell victim to the harsh environment. The Andes are known for their unpredictable weather and dangerous paths. It's plausible that she could have had an accident, a fall, an injury, or getting lost and succumbed to the elements before anyone could find her. She was an experienced hiker, but even the most skilled adventurer can be caught off guard by nature's power. The lack of any found remains or equipment, however, makes this theory less certain for some. Another theory suggests foul play. In the 1980s, this region of South America was not without its dangers. There were political instabilities, criminal elements, and risks associated with being a lone foreign traveler. Could Elise have crossed paths with the wrong people? It's a possibility that has been heavily considered. She might have been targeted for robbery, and the crime went horribly wrong. Or she could have stumbled upon something she wasn't supposed to see. Without any evidence, a body, or a crime scene, this theory remains pure speculation, a dark possibility that haunts the case. Then there are the more unconventional theories. Some have speculated that Elise, wanting to escape her old life, may have disappeared intentionally. Perhaps she found a new community, a new purpose, and chose to cut ties with her past. This theory, while offering a less tragic alternative, doesn't quite align with the person her family knew. She was close to them and was excited about her future plans after her travels. It seems unlikely she would cause them such profound pain by disappearing without a word. Yet, in cases like this, where evidence is non-existent, every possibility, no matter how remote, must be considered. Elise's family never gave up hope. Her father, in particular, dedicated his life to finding out what happened to his daughter. He made numerous trips to South America, retracing her steps, hiring private investigators, and offering rewards for information. He spoke to anyone who might have seen her, followed up on every lead, no matter how faint. He posted flyers with her picture in remote villages and pleaded with local officials to reopen the case. His relentless search became a testament to a father's unwavering love and his refusal to let his daughter's memory fade into obscurity. His journey was documented in the media, bringing international attention to Elise's case. Journalists and documentary filmmakers became captivated by the story. Over the decades, new tips and alleged sightings would occasionally surface, momentarily reigniting hope. One report claimed a woman matching Elise's description was seen living in a remote indigenous community. Another suggested she had been seen in a different country altogether, years after she vanished. Each lead was painstakingly investigated by her family and authorities, but each one ultimately led to a dead end, adding another layer of frustration and heartbreak. The case of Elise Van Dolen is a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring pain of uncertainty. For her family, the lack of closure is a wound that has never healed. They are left to wonder, day after day, what fate befell the adventurous young woman they loved so dearly. Did she meet with a tragic accident in the majestic mountains she so admired? Was she a victim of a senseless crime? Or did she choose a different life for herself, hidden from the world she once knew? Today, decades later, Elise's photo shows a smiling young woman with bright eyes, full of dreams and a thirst for adventure. Her story is not just a mystery, it's a human tragedy. It represents every family's worst nightmare and the deep, unending search for answers when a loved one disappears. While the official investigation is cold, her case remains open in the hearts of those who remember her and in the files of cold case enthusiasts around the world who continue to look for clues. Perhaps one day, a piece of evidence will surface, a long-lost memory will be shared, or a hiker will stumble upon a clue that finally unlocks the truth. Until then, the disappearance of Elise Van Dolen remains one of the most haunting and unresolved mysteries of our time, a silent testament to a journey that never found its end. Her story serves as a powerful reminder to cherish our loved ones and to never give up hope, even in the face of the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of a truly baffling case. If you have any thoughts or theories about what might have happened to Elise, please share them respectfully in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into compelling mysteries. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.